The morning the sea changed. Mara was sewing a button onto her brother's old shirt. The fabric was thin from years of washing. She had no reason to fix it. He had been dead for 2 years. Still, she kept his clothes folded in a wooden box near her bed, as if he might return needing them. The war had ended 5 years earlier. No parades, no speeches. The fighting simply stopped. The city had been lucky, bombs had fallen elsewhere. Soldiers came home tired and quiet. Buildings were repaired, markets opened again. People learned how to sleep without flinching at every loud sound. They told themselves they had survived the worst. Mara heard shouting from the harbour and went to the window. The sea had poured back far beyond the docks. Boats leaned sideways in the mud. Fish flopped on the exposed sand. Children ran forward with buckets, laughing at their good fortune. It didn't look right. The air felt heavy and strange. Even the gulls were gone. She stepped outside. Her neighbour Thomas stood in the street, staring at the empty shoreline. "Strange tide," he said, but he didn't sound convinced. Mara looked at the horizon. There was a dark line there, stretching across the water. It grew taller as she watched. Then came the sound, not like bombs, not like gunfire. It was deeper, steady and rolling, as if the earth itself were moving. People began to run. Some called for their children. Some just stood frozen. Mara saw a small boy from her building drop his bucket and stare at the growing wall of water. She grabbed his hand. "Inside," she said. They hurried toward her apartment building. The front door stuck, swollen from years of damp air. But she forced it open. The stairwell was narrow and made of concrete, built strong during the war to survive attacks. She pulled the boy up the steps. Behind them, the first wave hit the harbour. The crush shook the ground. Wood splintered, glass broke. Water rushed into the streets, carrying pieces of boats and market stalls. They climbed higher. The building trembled as the water struck it. Mara held the boy close. He was shaking so badly she could feel his teeth chatter against her shoulder. "It will pass," she said, though she didn't know if that was true. The water poured into the lower floors. They heard doors slam open, furniture scrape, people shouting below. Another wave hit, stronger than the first. The lights went out. They stayed on the top floor landing. Hours seemed to stretch. The roaring outside slowly faded to a steady rush. When at last there was silence, it felt worse. Mara opened the roof hatch and pushed it aside. The sky was clear, painfully blue. She lifted the boy up first and climbed after him. The city was gone, not destroyed in flames, not broken by shells, just swallowed. Water covered the streets, flat and endless. The tops of a few buildings showed like small islands. Boats drifted where houses had stood. The war had taken years and left much standing. This had taken minutes. The boy wiped his face with dirty hands. "Is everyone gone?" he asked. Mara did not answer right away. In the distance, she could see other people on other rooftops. Small figures, waving cloth, calling out. "No," she said finally, "not everyone." The boy looked at her as if waiting for instructions. Mara thought of her brother, who had survived soldiers and hunger only to die from a simple wound. She thought of how carefully the city had rebuilt itself, brick by brick, believing effort was enough to keep disaster away. She stood up straighter. "We're still here," she said. "So we start again." The sea moved quietly around them, patient and wide, as if it had all the time in the world.